Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. Now this video is sponsored by my awesome patrons over on Patreon. If you wanted to support the channel, go head on over there. But anyway, that's all from me. Enjoy the epic underwater footage incoming. So our first drop of the video, we're going to head back down near the reef and onto the sand. Now pretty quickly, you'll notice a kingfish coming straight in onto the lure. He's already trying to eat it. There's a snapper there too, and the kingfish has actually got it in his mouth. So looking back, the kingfish comes in to inspect, takes a bite, gets it completely in his mouth, and then drops it quickly. We've got the snapper looking as well. He looks pretty interested in what's going on. And the kingfish comes back into that pile of sand and takes it right into his mouth. And look at that, he's heading straight for the rock, as most kingfish will do. He's really trying his hardest to get there. He's found it, and now he's going to drag the camera and the line right across it. Just didn't quite get it in there. He's going back in there now, though.
We hooked something pretty good here. As soon as it touched down, I don't know if I would have got it on the camera because it was pretty far behind. It's going to be wrapped up in the other rod, I'd imagine.
Now, as per usual, on the way up, we've got a couple of monsters following him up. Two there, probably about 15 kilos, coming up for a look. They're just cruising though, and they're not really interested in what's going on apart from that little hooked one.
Even if we lose it, we'll know what it is, which is the advantage of the camera. Straight up and down, I think we might be clear of that other line. Certainly the strongest fish I've ever hooked on the camera, which is concerning. But everything's strong enough. Here's our leader. What have we got? A kingfish. It's our first kingfish on the camera. With a giant mess. Well, he's made a mess of it now.
So back down on the bottom, and we haven't quite hit the rock this time, but the tarakihi are still there over the sand. And looking in the background, we've got a snapper coming in to look, and he doesn't seem quite sure, but he's going to turn and have a good look now, and now he's keen. You can see how fast he's moving around the bait. Coming back again. Looking, and finally got it in his mouth, but dropped the bait. Now we've actually got two snapper competing here, and a goatfish coming in on the bottom. That other snapper, he's really keen, he's really on that bait now, turning, and got the bait, and he's hooked. It seems today that there's quite a few kingfish hanging around in the area as another really good one comes up to look. Another snapper also follows him over 10 meters off the bottom.
Well, it's pretty much carnage at the moment. That's good. Ooh. We're just doing drifts over the spot. That's a good fish. This one's pulled a bit of line, so it's probably a nice snap or a nice terror, possibly. Nice snap. Another nice one. Did just land a good one, so one or two more drift and then move on. Go find something else.
This drift, we've managed to get it right next to the rock, and we've got a little dwarf scorpionfish having a go at the bait. These are always interesting fish to watch. Now you may have missed what happened here, but if you look in the sand, there's actually a little flounder there. As the tarakihi and the scorpionfish are having a go, that little flounder gets the fright of his life. Now looking over to the right, we've got a bunch of different fish. We've got a goatfish scrounging around in the sand. A blue cod chases him off as he comes in to inhale the bait, as they often do. That blue cod eventually ejects the bait, and all of these other fish now have the chance to come in to try and eat it too. After all those bites and not hooking a fish, it was time to bring the baits up, as it would be pretty likely that my hooks were empty. I replaced the battery and sent it back down with a couple of fresh baits before my other rod hooked up to another fish.
Another nice turkey.
A pan-sized tarakihi and snapper both went into the bin, as they're lovely to eat at this size. And then it was time to check out what was going on the bottom again.
There you go, getting hits on that one. Oh, was on. Got him that time.
As we've seen so far, there are tons of tarakihi down on the bottom, but not quite the larger ones I'm looking for.
Just another terror that I'll probably let go. It's just a little bit small. Kept a couple smaller ones, so that's all we need.
The tarakihi fishing was on fire today, and it was another one on the way up. And it only took another couple minutes to have another one on the boat too.
Although you might be in.
Now, before we end off, we're just going to head back down to the bottom to have a look at something interesting that the camera spotted. Coming into frame now is this rope, and it's got a little buoy on the top holding it upright. Quite the odd bit of terrain for down there. I think this must have been an old set net. As we make our way through the reef for the final time, we find ourselves swarmed by leatherjackets, tarakihi, and plenty of other small species. The highlight of all the filming that I did was this amazing shot with over 30 tarakihi in shot at the same time. As we're about to pull the line up and head off to another spot, I wanted to just recap all of the fish we have seen on this small reef in 33 metres. Of all the species we saw, kingfish were the first to appear, with a couple really solid ones cruising over the top of the reef, and also the rat we managed to hook. A small sand flounder made a little appearance, along with a feisty dwarf scorpionfish, and plenty of snapper were also lurking down below. A number of other species, like these leatherjackets and scarlet wrasse in the centre of shot, also made an appearance. A revelation of dropping this camera over so many times is the abundance of goatfish in this area. Finally, we look at the shot of the video. Tarakihi, leatherjackets, snapper, butterfly perch, blue cod, and goatfish are all present in this shot. With a final tarakihi rising up to the surface, it was now time to pack up the gear and head out wider for something different.